Hey everybody, McKyler here real quick to remind you to go check out our Patreon. We've got 7 bonus episodes up there right now and an 8th one coming up soon. If that's something that sounds fun to you, go sign up at patreon.com/doing learning. Hope to see you over there. Welcome to Doing Learning, everybody. Not just one person or 2 people, but everybody, including you, Daniel.
That's me.
That is you. You is Daniel.
I am Daniels.
Daniel.
Hello, folks.
We're doing so good. We've got it down. It's so easy, this intro thing.
Yeah.
It's so easy. We should just call it. We should call it a good episode.
You know, that's our anniversary. Let's go. Boom, boom. We're done. We can die on a hill because we've done it. We're successful.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for all the support, everyone.
All right. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Anyway, Daniel, sometimes you ask me a question right at the beginning of your episodes, and I usually struggle to answer them. But anyway,
are you gonna make me struggle?
I have a question for you.
All right.
I don't know if you're gonna struggle with it or not, but simple question.
Oh, I'm gonna struggle then.
How low can you go?
Down low to the floor. I think that's what is to the floor.
You Jeopardy'd it. I like that. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't. I don't know that it was that. I think you could go lower.
So am I an ant? You know, like that's that scene in A Bug's Life, right? You're like dirt. No, you're lower than dirt. You're an ant.
That's a deep cut. That's a good reference. That's a grasshopper says that?
Yep, grass.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
No. Daniel, I think you could go to the lowest point on Earth. The Mariana Trench.
The Mariana Trench, where there's lots of marinara sauce.
That'd be so weird. Just imagine going to the deepest point in the ocean, not knowing what you're gonna find, and you get down there and it's just
an Italian guy making pasta sauce.
Well, that would be really surprising. Oh my gosh. That's all right. Well, that's the topic. The Mariana Trench.
All right.
Spoiler alert. No Italians down there. I don't know that an Italian has ever been to the bottom. Now that you mention it, I don't know. We'd have to look that up. That's not part of the research that I did. But yeah, I want to talk about the Mariana Trench. This was another one of the ones, like Bermuda Triangle freaked me out as a kid or whatever.
Right.
And I've actually gotten a lot of feedback that other people have felt that way as well. I'm on purpose not telling you how deep it is. So I see you doing your research. So if you want to spoil it for yourself, you can, but I'm going to see if I can make it like a dramatic reveal for you of how deep it actually is.
I have not. The only thing I research is if an Italian has ever been to the Mariana Trench. And it says no Italian explorer scientist has personally descended all the way down into the Mariana Trench so far.
Yet. Okay, now we know.
So there's a bunch of other stuff on there that populated, but I won't read that.
All right. Well, you can keep doing your research later too. You know, I'll never tell you to not do your research. So if you come across it, that's fine. But I think it might make for a fun story. I'm gonna try to tell a story again tonight. But we are, the Mariana Trench, Bermuda Triangle freaked me out as a kid.
Right.
The other thing that, like, for some reason, I don't know if it was just the mystery of the ocean or what, but the Mariana Trench was like this legendary thing. Like, I don't know what it, like, there was nothing about it other than it's just like, oh, it's the deepest thing.
Right.
It's as low as you can go. Right. There's no point. How'd they say it? There's no point on Earth that you can be further away from the surface of the planet. You have to be, if you want to get further away from the surface, you have to like go into the atmosphere like a long way, right?
Okay.
It's a dumb way to say it's a deep hole.
Right. So, no, you know what? Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. So I said that wrong. It's not a hole. It's a trench because that's its name. I'll talk a little bit about the geography of it. And we'll kind of go from there, and then I'll get into some of the story. So
sounds good.
This trench, it's basically in the middle of nowhere in the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean. It's somewhere between like the Philippines and Guam.
Okay.
It's like thousands of kilometers away from anything. It's in the middle of nowhere.
What is that in Olympic swimming pools?
That's fine.
I'm just kidding.
50 meters. Oh, shoot. I was gonna. Oh. Okay. I was gonna. I didn't do my preparations, but I was gonna give you the depth in Home Depot skeletons immediately. So we're just gonna have to. We'll get there. Anyway, it's a, for all intents and purposes, it's a pretty skinny trench. It's really long, but it's very skinny.
Okay.
So it's only like, I can't remember the exact numbers. It might be like 1,000 kilometers long, and it might only be like 100 wide. So it's a pretty narrow kind of band.
100 kilometers wide?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really not that big. I think it's smaller than that, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's kind of small. What's really interesting about it is like plate tectonics are a strange thing and all of this stuff. Let me tell you the story of how they found it. So I'm going to take you back to a long time ago. Where is it? 1875.
Okay.
It was discovered. You might ask, how on earth in 1875 do you discover ocean stuff? Right. It's really interesting. The British were doing we already talked about this. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff everywhere. One of their warships, it was after some British war. They're always fighting wars, right? I'm rolling my eyes because it's just all the crazy nonsense that we've already talked about. We already know about it. Anyway, they finished up with a war, and they took one of their warships, and they're like, you guys on this ship, you've got a new task. Like, all right, we're not in war anymore. We've got this warship. We got to keep you guys busy. Let's do something. So they're like, okay, cool. Let's map the ocean floor. Like, at least roughly, right? Let's see how deep stuff is. Let's go around and figure out how deep things are and kind of make a map of the depth of the ocean floor. The boat was called the HMS Challenger. Cool. That's fun. They were out doing their measurements. And actually, Daniel, how do you think that they would measure the depth of the ocean in 1875 using a warship?
Kind of like they measure the speed like in knots, right? Because like that's how they used to, right? Their speed ropes and every like whatever knots. They're like, oh, I'm going this many. I would guess similar. I don't know why. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind. They just kind of like this depth. It's this many whatever knots or whatever. Some kind of.
You basically nailed it. They tied a heavy weight to the end of a rope and lowered it down until it hit the bottom.
Makes sense. It makes
Which
sense.
I think is more or less what you were getting at.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The knots are a distance apart, and that's a speed thing. But then they
yeah,
can get the intervals, and
exactly.
you're saying how many like knots down, or like how long is the rope when it hits the bottom?
Exactly.
That's exactly what they were doing. They were just lowering a rope until it hit the bottom, which I'm not exactly sure. Like, there's a lot of logistics when it gets really deep.
I agree.
It's like,
it's not an easy task by
rope straight. Like, wouldn't it drift a little? And how do you know when it hits the bottom? Like, it doesn't just like, oh, it went slack.
Right.
There's so much resistance on the rope and like the self weight. I don't know. I don't exactly know how they did it, but that's how they did it.
There must have been pulley systems or something to like make it taut,
I guess,
but still free floating. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's super interesting just because it sounds like a super basic thing, but there's thought into it, right? There has to be.
Exactly. When you start getting on the scale of this stuff, it just is like, it stops making sense to me. But it's funny that I think that's how they did it. So anyway, that's what they were doing. They were going around the ocean, just like trapping weights off and figuring out how long the rope was. And they're like, cool, it's that deep. They were out kind of near Guam, and a storm rolled through and pushed them kind of way off course. And so they're like, well, we're out here. We need to measure it anyway. So whatever, wherever they ended up, they're just going to measure it. Well, they ended up lowering down their rope, and it just kept going. And then they tied more rope on, and they lowered it down, and it just kept going. And they lowered it down, and they tied another rope on, and it just kept going. Right. And they kept doing this and doing this and doing this. I'm still saving the depth.
Yeah.
I'm going to save it. But they kept doing this and doing this and doing this. And they pretty much accidentally just got blown onto the deepest point in the ocean as they were doing this. And honestly, had they been just whatever, I told you it was narrow.
Right.
And so it's pretty easy that they could have just missed it.
Yeah.
And we would have eventually found it, but it would have been a while. Right.
Yeah.
And who knows when we would have. Because what else is really interesting is right where that is at it's the super deep trench, but otherwise the Pacific Ocean is basically featureless. It's more or less just flat. Like there's basically nothing at the bottom of the ocean. There's like in the Atlantic, that's different. There's like some mountains and stuff underneath it.
Yeah.
In the Pacific, it's basically flat except for like Hawaii, right where the islands stick up. Where there's that volcanic activity, and then at the edges where stuff gets crazy.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise it's like flat. So they could have easily missed it. And I just think it's pretty wild that they just kind of accidentally found it in, what did I tell you? 1875.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's talk. Just a real quick, while we're doing the background, we'll talk plate tectonics, like what is going on here that makes things so strange. You might remember some of that from school of like Pangea and like the continents are moving around and whatever, right? Like we're basically islands floating on magma.
You said, sorry.
What did I say? Did I say something?
No. You said Pangea?
Yeah.
And I don't know why I thought PEMDAS. I was like, what does math have to do with anything, McKyler? But
math is everything.
I was like,
Daniel.
keep going. And I was like, oh, wait, he said Pangea.
Pangea, the other PEMDAS.
Write that down. Shirt idea.
It doesn't even make sense to us. Oh, man. So anyway, these plates are moving around. And like the Pacific plate is actually moving a ton. And essentially what it does is it's a really heavy plate. And all of the other like continental plates are kind of light. So anyway, what ends up happening is it dives underneath the other continental plates. Since it's more dense and heavier, it gets pushed down. And when it gets pushed down, like all kinds of crazy stuff happens, right? So you get really interesting geography. And we'll talk about it later a little bit, but you end up getting like a lot of volcanic activity. So other than like the couple of scattered islands like Hawaii, Guam, whatever, all the ones out there, most of the action is way on the edges, right? Like Hawaii is like in the middle.
Yeah.
And there's nothing for a long way away from Hawaii, right?
Right. That I mean, like
kind of nothing there.
Yeah, right.
It's like the only thing within whatever, other than just like little tiny scattered islands or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's just not much out there. So anyway, all the action is on the edge, and we'll come back to the action a little bit later. So that's kind of what's going on. That's why things are a little crazy, whatever. That's where we are on planet Earth. So let's talk a little bit about the first dive.
Ooh,
because we went down there
into the Mariana Trench. Okay, so I'm guessing it wasn't in 1875.
It wasn't in 1875. It was in. I don't know if this would surprise you or not. I think it surprised me just because the whole thing is ridiculous and crazy. It happened in 1960. I don't know if that surprises me or not.
Yeah, because I can see where we were very ambitious.
Yeah,
but at the same time, a little part of me is like, did we have the technology to do it?
Yeah, exactly. It's post-war.
Yeah,
like it's after World War II. And so we did have a lot of technological growth and this kind of things, but it still feels early, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We'll get that because you're not wrong. We'll get to that a little bit later. And I'll have some other points. I think there's a little bit more information later on that actually does make it feel like it was like crazy early. So we'll revisit your feelings on that one.
Okay.
So let's talk about Swiss. Oh my good night. Swiss oceanographer Jacques Piccard, which I don't know if you've heard that name. I recognized it, but I couldn't place it. But this is him.
I don't think I recognize it.
So Jacques Piccard and then U.S. Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh. Those are the two guys that we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
So we're post-war, and there's kind of two stories going on right here, right? Like Jacques Piccard and then what the U.S. Navy is up to at this time. So let's talk Jacques Piccard real quick. He was obsessed with making like hot air balloons and balloon craft and things like that. And like that was kind of his background or whatever. And I honestly can't remember how exactly they met up with. Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, okay. So at some point, for some reason, Piccard was convinced that he worked with a very small team, like a couple other guys, and they basically created a submarine called the Trieste.
Okay.
And so what's weird about the Trieste is that it's hardly a submarine. It's an underwater balloon, which sounds weird. Right?
It does, because like when I think of a balloon, like if you put it underwater, it just
exactly
right up to the top.
So here's what's really interesting, right? So think submarine shape.
Okay,
you're right. It's like a long tube.
Yep.
And then the way that this one worked is like a long tube. There is a hatch on top.
Okay.
A kind of a metal hole, and then they'd crawl down into it. And the crew area they said is basically the size of a refrigerator.
That's crew area?
Yeah. So there's only two guys that could fit in it, and it was about the size of a refrigerator.
I can't fit in a refrigerator. How big were these guys?
I guess not very big. I don't know. They fit. So
were refrigerators back then much bigger?
I don't know. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. Just think like a full size fridge, roughly.
Okay.
Enough that two guys could fit snugly.
Oh,
it was snug. There's some pretty cool pictures of this thing. So that's the craft that he makes. And like you said, it doesn't make any sense. Like when you have a balloon, you can't put it underwater. It's way too buoyant, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's if you fill the balloon with air, Daniel. So they did not fill it with air.
Oh, something heavier.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I don't know that you'd ever guess what they filled it with.
Beryllium.
No.
Lead.
No.
Cadmium.
It's a liquid that you filled it with a fluid. You're just going through the periodic table now?
Mercury.
Touche. They filled it with jet fuel.
That's heavier than water?
Well, here's the thing. At the surface, it's actually lighter than water. It floats when you're at the surface, but as you go down, it actually gives you a pretty neutral buoyancy. So then you can really dial in using some ballast and other weights.
Okay.
Your descent rate.
Can you remind me again how big this balloon was?
That's a good question. Let's see how let's look it up real quick. I think it was on the order of like 20 feet long and maybe like 4 or 5 feet in diameter.
I mean,
it's a pretty decent sized balloon.
Here's my first thought.
Yep.
That's a scary amount of jet fuel just underwater.
Yeah.
Like,
oh gosh, I was so wrong. 60 feet long.
Oh, you're making it worse. For those keeping tabs, that is 5 Home Depot skeletons long.
Yeah, it is. And 11.5 feet wide. So 1 Home Depot skeleton wide. Ish. So yeah, there you go. Filled with jet fuel. Yeah, so it had that really, really weird, interesting properties that when it's sitting at the surface, it'll float. But when it starts to sink, it's still like it's going to behave better than air. It's going to get squished.
Right.
But it's going to get squished. It's less compressible than air is.
Okay.
And so it'll handle the depths, the pressure at the depths a lot better. And it's more neutrally buoyant so they can control their descent rate and ascent rate pretty accurately.
Do they have pictures of this by any chance? Okay.
Yeah. Here, I'll
because this sounds very interesting. Like it sounds so bizarre. Like it doesn't sound real.
Here you
almost. Go. That is not at all what I was imagining, but that makes
Yeah. It's just So I mean, there was other like steel. There was other structure with it, of course, but that was kind of the main part of it. So yes, there was some structure to it. There's the hatch, the stuff in the middle. Most of it's a balloon filled with gas. So that's what Picard makes, and they start putzing around in the water or whatever. Well, that catches the attention of the U.S. Navy in the late 50s, I guess, at this point, right? Because we're going to do the dive in 1960. So the U.S. Navy was like, "Hey, there's this Swiss dude." And it actually was. This is really funny. They were in Italy with some, like the rest of his crew was Italian. Of course. So they're like, there's this Swiss dude in Italy dinking around with like a new kind of submersible that can go deeper, was basically the idea, right? Because U-boats existed. We had already done submarines. The first submarine is far older than this, right? I think you'd be shocked. I think it was in like oh my goodness, Civil War times. It might even been before that, like underwater craft and stuff like that. It's crazy. That's a different story.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just thinking about that. That's yeah. But.
So at this point, the Navy was like, "There's this guy. He can go deeper than anybody else." And the Navy is like, if we can have the advantage there, we will have a superior military.
Right.
So let's go experiment with this. Let's get the science down. Let's go see what's going on. And so the Navy was like, we'll finance some of the stuff. We're going to sign up a pilot to work with you. We're going to do some science research missions that were truly science research. But the idea was refine the technology so then you can make submarines for the Navy. That was basically their goal, right?
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you're doing scientific research, and it is a good thing. So then they sign up Don Walsh, and he was like, what did they say he was? He was in his mid-20s, and this was the first craft he was like captain of or whatever this was the first craft that he was in command of. Mm-hmm. So he was just like a new guy, which was crazy. They hired this machinist who was also kind of a new guy, but like kind of a crazy dude. But he was, I don't have his name written down. Oh, here it is. John.
I don't have it. Here it is.
Yeah, here it is. John Michel, 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 maybe. Old Johnny. He's a master machinist. This is so funny. So he was the kind of guy, they said that he was the kind of guy that if you explained to him what you were looking for and slid material, doing air quotes, slid material under his door, it would show up later on your desk perfect. Like whatever you asked for. Like he was just good. Right. So they're like, cool, let's get him on because he's really good at what he does. He knows what he's doing, that kind of stuff. I have a little note here. I didn't really read into this. I missed this line, but I'm fascinated by it. It said he had to use a modified forklift as a battering ram to realign some of the crew spheres sections. So he was like a bold guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, like, woo, kind of machinist. He's like, cool, let's do this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He'll come up later. So we'll talk about him too. So they team up and they're like, okay, cool. Let's go do some dives. So they practice off the coast of California, do some dives out there, pretty nice and easy.
Okay.
And then after that, they start going out into the Pacific and they're going deeper and deeper and deeper. And the goal is to end up at the deepest point in the ocean. I should say this. So the Mariana Trench is like the main body, but there's one location kind of right at the end of it that's just like a big hole.
Okay.
And remember the HMS Challenger was the boat that found it, the ship that found it. This feature is called Challenger Deep. That's the point, is the hole, the Challenger Deep.
Okay.
So that's the specific location. So we're going to the Challenger Deep. We're going to go to the bottom when they do this, right? So they go do one of their first big dives and they go, I've got the feet on hand. I don't have the kilometer. I'll do a little bit of kilometer rounding in my head. So the very first practice dive that they do is roughly 5 kilometers. So I'm doing hand wavy, really, really rough. Maybe 5 kilometers. I'm talking like 15,000 feet.
So
deep.
So it's 15,000 feet.
Roughly. Yep. So they do that one and they break the record on the deepest dive ever on their warm-up run. For reference, current nuclear submarines operate their deepest is, they operate from like 3 to 4 kilometers deep. So they're deep. Wow. They're already their first dive that's not just like off the coast by San Diego is deeper than basically like most craft go nowadays, right? That are not like some insane sub for some weird thing or like a science rover or something like that, right?
And I think I know you said roughly 5 kilometers, but if it was like clearly 5 kilometers, it's closer to 16,000 feet.
Sure.
So,
So the reason I'm not really worried about that number, we're going deeper.
which
right?
is insane. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You hang on to your pants over there, Daniel. We're going deep.
I can't. They're floating up.
You're wearing your balloon pants.
Yeah.
So then they do a second dive somewhere else. They go down to close to like 24,000 feet.
They go down?
Oh, yeah. That's their second dive. They're still not there. They're still not at the point that they want to be. 24,000 feet down. So they break their own record a couple months later, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put that in perspective in like Mount Everest, you know?
It's so easy to lose it.
Because like
We'll talk about.
Okay. Keep going.
We'll keep going. Because that's the perfect comparison.
Right.
That's excellent. So they do that and they're like, okay, cool. Business as usual. We did our practice runs. Let's go do the Challenger Deep. So they get out there and the weather is bad. You know, the waves are rough. It's really battering them. This submarine is really delicate because it's a balloon filled with gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they can only tow it at like 5 knots. That's the fastest they'll go, which is slow.
I was gonna say I don't know what
it converts to, but it's not very fast. A couple miles an hour, maybe. It's like it's quite slow. Yeah, you look it up while I'm chatting.
Great. I put 5 knots equals, and it auto like correct it or like kind of auto generated what my answer would be, and it says equals 2.572 meters per second.
Okay.
So I don't know what that
I can
means.
like visualize it in my head, but like I don't know what that corresponds to like miles per hour is really nice because that's what my car says. It's not very fast.
No, it's not.
Because you can run way fast. Like when you're jogging, you're going way faster, I think. It might be a couple miles an hour.
I would say so. I mean, I'm just trying to.
Did you type it in?
No. So 2.572 meters per second, which is 5 knots, equals 5.7 miles per hour.
Okay. So there you go.
Yeah. That's pretty slow.
That's pretty slow.
Yeah.
It's slower than a 10-minute mile.
Yeah.
So this takes from them forever to get anywhere.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Just hit me. Literally, as
There
soon as
you
you
go.
said that hit me. I was like,
I don't know.
Going down that deep at that slow pace. Oh my gosh.
Well, no, they're not going down. This is just getting tugged around on the surface, getting to the location.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So the thing is delicate.
Right.
So they're out there on choppy water and they're kind of Picard's having second thoughts because he's like, the problem is, Daniel, is to get onto the craft, like they have to take another boat up to it and they got to get out and get on top, do a bunch of stuff and then get crammed inside and then locked in basically. And the thought is that while they're doing that, there's a lot of risk of the other craft hitting them and causing damage to their to the submarine before they go down. And so that's what they're worried about. And they're worried about maybe some of the other parts and stuff on the hull and whatever. And so they're like, it kind of starts to creep up on them. They're like, okay, this is really deep. We're what we are about to do is insanely crazy. It's really deep, you know. And so this is where they ask the machinist. Picard turns to him when he's having second doubts and he goes, well, you built it. Like, what do you think? Would you go down? And he tells him, heck yeah, absolutely, I'd go. So Picard goes, okay, let's do it. So they basically, as soon as they got their window, Walsh and Picard jumped on it, got all their stuff. And they basically said they hurried as quick as they could before anybody else could change their mind and call it off.
Yeah.
And before they backed out themselves, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm in. Let's go. Let's go.
Just ride that high and just go in there.
That's right. Like, I got it now. I might not have it later.
Yep.
Let's start going down. So they get all buckled up and then cool. They're on their way. Now we can start talking about how fast they're going down.
Okay.
They're descending at a rate of 1 to 2 meters per second. We were just talking about going 2.4, 2.7. What did you say?
Yeah, something like that. 2.57 meters per second.
Pretty slow.
So now they're going 1
to 2 meters per second descent rate. Yep. Pretty slow.
Yeah.
But when you're on a craft like that, you got to go pretty slow, right? Otherwise, it's going to get dangerous. You can't take on too much pressure at a time. So they start going down. And so they're going down, they're going down, they're going down. Their sight glass on this thing is a 50 millimeter window, plexiglass. It's like,
oh, what?
It's
yeah,
like this big.
I was
50 millimeters is 5 centimeters. That's like this big. It's like a little bigger than a silver dollar, maybe.
Yeah.
Like just enough to like stick one eye up to it, like look out.
And that's their only sight.
That's the only sight to the outside world.
Oh.
Yep. So they got instrumentation. They're doing their thing. They're going down. They're going down. They're doing their thing. Everything's looking good. When they hit 30,000 feet deep, they hear a loud bang. Something just goes snap. And they're like looking around. They're like immediately start assessing damage. So they're like, okay, well, we're alive. It didn't instantly just destroy the craft and everything. So that's good. They looked around and they're like, we don't see any leaks. So that's good. And so they looked at each other and they're like, all right, cool. Let's keep going. And I don't know that I would make that same decision.
No. At this point, do you know how deep they were?
30,000 feet.
Oh, that's right. You did say that. 30,000 feet. 30,000 feet. You hear a loud bang. Like, let's just say they do see a leak at this depth. How long does it take for you to resurface? Like, are you
time.
You're not escaping that, right?
You try to ascend as fast as you can, but again, you can't just like go. You can't go way fast.
Exactly.
Because you'll have the opposite problem. You'll crush the other way.
Right.
So it's faster than going down, but it's not fast.
Yeah.
So that's basically what they were thinking. They're like we didn't instantly vanish.
Right.
And so we might as well keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, frankly, that should have been the end and it wasn't. So, okay.
So let's just
keep going. Yeah. I'm like, okay, crazy.
That's like, I don't know. What's a good, like, simple comparison? That's like, maybe this is not a good one, but that's like having like I don't know, like a 19 on a blackjack table. You know you're gonna win, or
sure,
but you still want to hit.
Yeah.
You're just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You stay there on a 19. You stay.
All the twos are already on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy is what it is. So they hear a bang and they're like, okay, cool, let's keep going. Well, Daniel, they eventually hit the bottom 4 hours and 47 minutes after they start their descent.
The bottom of
the ocean, the world, as low as you can go.
In the Mariana Trench?
Yep, in the Challenger Deep.
So, basically it took them 5 hours to get that deep.
Yep.
That's actually not as long as I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be like I don't know, at that rate, the way they were going, at maybe like a 12 to 15 hour trek journey, which is kind of crazy to think about. Well,
when you say it that way, what you're skirting around is the math that would tell you how deep they went, right? So, sorry, I asked it in Home Depot skeletons. So this is how deep it is. It's nearly, frustratingly close to 11 kilometers deep. That's 10,935 meters, 335,876 feet, or 2,990 Home Depot skeletons. That doesn't seem right, does it?
I don't know.
No, yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So you asked about Mount Everest.
Uh-huh.
You could put Mount Everest in the Challenger Deep and still have, I think, like what they say, like 2 or 3 kilometers of water above it.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy deep. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. There wouldn't even be light on the top of Mount Everest. You're so deep still.
Right. Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's from like, the surface to the peak of Everest.
Right.
Everest is already, the base of it's already really high.
Right.
Right. So its prominence is, it's still an enormously tall mountain.
Right. It's like 30,000 feet or
something like
feet
that.
Or no, feet. Feet. Right.
But like its base camp starts at like whatever, 18,000 feet or 15,000 feet or something like that.
I can't remember, but yeah.
But that's above sea level already. So you got to take all of that plus, you know what I mean? Like everything from the ocean to the top. And then you'd still have several kilometers on top of that. In another way to think about it,
we can just take Everest and plug the hole a little bit. Just...
yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Why don't we scoop up Everest
and push it somewhere else?
In another terms, this makes no sense to me. Because it's simply impossible to imagine. And this dumb submarine that these guys went down in, the amount of pressure on this craft, because the way that water pressure works is it only matters what's above you, right? So like if you're in like just a column of water that's 36,000 feet deep, it's the exact same thing as if you're in the ocean that's 36,000 feet deep. Like it doesn't matter how much water is to the sides of you, it's just how much is above you.
Okay.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You have the entire weight of the ocean sitting on you, basically.
Yeah.
Pushing on you from all sides. So, in terms of pressure, this is like 16,000 pounds per square inch.
Ooh.
Which they said something like this is like I'm trying to remember exactly what they said. It was like it's like several. I saw one trying to equate it to jumbo jets and another one that is using Humvees, but it's like equivalent to like 2 Humvees or like a jumbo jet or something weird per square inch. It just doesn't make any sense.
No.
And that this little thing that they're in,
I don't know how
it doesn't break.
I was going to say, how does it not collapse and just implode or whatever the word you want to say?
It's really well engineered, I guess. I'm just like, it just does not compute in my brain.
Like, who is this guy?
Yes, like 16 multiple vehicles per square inch. Like I'm picturing I don't know. Crazy that they did this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is so they make it all the way down. I watched an interview with Don Walsh, and he said when they got to the bottom, the sense of accomplishment that they had was kind of like a quiet sense of accomplishment. Like they got to the bottom and it was like ooh, we did it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like woo, crazy or whatever. Like it was just like like a calm, reserved, like, wow, we did it. So Picard and Walsh, they like had their flags. They had a camera. Life magazine had them put a camera in it so they could would take pictures as they go down and stuff like that. So there's pictures of all this. It's really cool. So when they got to the bottom, they took a picture together of them like holding their flags. And it's really interesting because I don't know exactly when like Everest was summited or whatever, but there's like the first couple dudes that did that. They took their pictures on the top with their flags. So we have pictures of, the very highest point on Earth and the very lowest point on Earth. Of these, like we did it. We covered everything. Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
That is awesome.
Daniel, they were down at the bottom of the ocean for 20 minutes. And then they had to turn around and come back. They're That's all they had time for. I think just it's probably some amount of exposure from the pressure and then the amount of oxygen that they have. That's all they had time for. Because oxygen does weird things in pressure vessels as the pressure external pressure increases. It's really strange how it behaves. But yeah, I mean, it's internally pressurized. Whatever. The whole thing is bonkers weird.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me because I don't deal with this pressure vessels all the time. To other people, it's going to be like, duh, this is crazy. It makes sense. Not to
like,
me.
come on,
not me. I just think the whole thing is weird.
Yeah, same. Because I'm like, you're right. They would have a limited supply of oxygen, but
they flat out would. So.
Yeah, right. What that limitation is, who knows?
Yeah, and they knew how deep it was, and they knew how long it was going to take them to get down. They knew how long it was going to take them to get up.
Mm-hmm.
The time, you subtract that away from your total time, and that leaves you with the time amount that you have on the bottom, which is 20 minutes. So that's all they had.
They should have calculated it better and given themselves an hour at the bottom. Come on, and build a better. Put more oxygen.
Put more oxygen in it. Just put more in there.
Just shove it in there.
So they did not know what they were going to expect when they got to the bottom. They basically thought that absolutely nothing could, like, there shouldn't be any life at this point, because the pressure here is 1,086 times greater than at sea level. That doesn't sound right.
Can you say that again?
What I have written is that the pressure here is 1,086 times greater than at sea level. That doesn't sound right. Whatever. The point is, it's crazy pressures, and they're right. Like, the theory at the time was basically the pressure is so great it will destroy single cells. It will just crush everything. Nothing can live. Like
if they were just to magically poof out of the vessel.
Yeah, it would just you're done. Would just vaporize into, it's like it would atomize it, right? It basically it vaporizes it.
Wow. Literally
from pressure. So they get down there and they saw a fish. Yeah. And I've seen, I don't know if it was the video from their vessel or if it was just another thing that was whatever. They thought it was a flatfish.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a whatever, like a halibut or something weird, just like a fish that lays on the ground. There's some speculation that it was actually a sea cucumber.
Okay.
And because they kind of flatten out and they kind of undulate, and they do kind of like that or whatever. But they went down there and were like, oh gosh, there's stuff here. There's things life. There's life down here, which was they thought to be completely flipped everybody's thoughts around.
Right. I mean, yeah.
What can survive in the ocean, and which so that's maybe the next point is like, what's the point other than you can prove you can do it? And for for the Navy, basically what they were proving is like, if you could go down there, you could go anywhere. Yeah. Kind of sort of thing, right? Like we could figure this out, right?
Right.
These two guys did it. We could do it over here too. And less deep. It's going to be easy.
Right.
It's not that scary. So that's a lot of the point. What they were surprised and fell into was the inspirational biology of like, things can live down here. Mm-hmm. This completely reframes our mind of how life works.
Yes.
And so, we could talk about it. Let's talk about it. Is we as humans derive a lot of like our engineering and our medicine around like creatures and nature around us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can learn things about, this fish that can live under this pressure. Well, that might change some way in which we can do some other kind of medicine, because we can mimic like the cellular structure or whatever is going on with this critter. We can replicate that in another way and do something else and do some other kind of scientific application of that mechanism.
Right.
Right.
Yes. But at the same time, I'm just like, this is our thought that if we just get out there, we'd be atomized. So like to me, it's like just kind of like thinking out loud.
Yeah.
How do we get this species?
Yeah.
To even,
it's
study it.
That's a great question. It's incredibly difficult, and it's kind of really frustrating because especially at those depths, we don't have any of that.
Right.
And the thing about ocean floor exploration is it's so you can scan it.
Right. Yeah.
We know what the bottom looks like.
Yeah.
For sure. But we don't really know what life looks like down there.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go down there, you only see a very, very small swath of what's going on.
Right.
Ocean, big.
Yeah.
Right. And you're only seeing this small little range of which you have time to explore for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just have to get lucky that, like, when these guys went down there, the fact that there was something alive right there, it could have just as easily in 20 minutes, they saw nothing. And then we would have been like, cool, there's nothing down there. But they saw life and it changed everything, right?
Right.
So our picture of the ocean floor is what we are lucky enough to have bumped into. And that's pretty much still true. So let's say this then too. If this is what got kind of weird to me, Daniel, and why I think 1960 sounds like way early.
Yeah.
Let me look up when this happened. But up until like I'm gonna look. So the first dive was in 1960. We went to the moon in 1969 for the first time.
Not 1968, but a year later.
The year after, yeah. And then we went a bunch more times in the 70s. And right, like, so a good chunk of people have been to the moon. Until March 26, 2012, only 2 people had ever gone to the bottom of the ocean.
And it was these 2 guys?
It was these 2 guys. So it took 52 years for the next person to ever go down there. So we had it was like something like 29 or something people that have walked on the moon, and only 2 people that had ever been to the bottom of the ocean. And that was true up until 2012, which, do you want to know who the 3rd person to the bottom of Challenger Deep was?
Please tell me it was an astronaut that was a famous...
No, it makes no sense who it was.
Who?
It was James Cameron, the movie guy.
That makes sense, actually. No, that makes sense.
Like,
is it this is definitely post Titanic, so pre Avatar?
Yeah?
Or around?
Close? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So maybe there's some inspiration that he took from it.
Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't make sense versa. Why him? It doesn't, like but it kind of does.
Yeah, freaking a filmmaker.
Yeah,
is the 3rd person. It's like, okay, but the kind of the problem with that, like, and there's nothing inherently wrong with him doing it. He did it solo, which is kind of crazy.
Wait, so did he actually do it, or did he just go underwater and be like, "Yeah, I did it"? Is there a record of like hard proof that he actually did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And since then, there are now more people that have been to the bottom of Challenger Deep than have walked on the moon.
Okay.
That number has flipped, but only like in the last decade, basically. And kind of the problem, I'm doing air quotes again, is it's basically been deep sea tourism.
I was gonna say, is it like a what's it called? Kind of like a bucket list kind of thing, like for the rich and wealthy.
Yep. So what they do is they strap a fish to the end of a stick, and then they take it to the bottom of the ocean and see what critters show up. Which is interesting, because you'll get some stuff will come over to it, but it's only the things that are interested in that thing. There's still other things out there.
Right.
So here's another weird fact for you. At the bottom of Challenger Deep, they've identified, this sounds like a big number, but it's not, 400 individual species, roughly, in any lake, just around. If you go to a lake.
Just like any random lake that you
Any random lake, you're talking multiple thousands of species. Like, this is all species, right? Like bacterias and this and that, whatever. So those are the only ones that we've identified, but it's very few.
I mean, going back to episode 1 to our desert shrimp in a pool, how many different...
Oh gosh, probably thousands.
And that's just in a small little pool, in a puddle in the middle of a desert.
So there's not much here. And again, the thing is because it's hard to actually do the research.
Right.
And when we are doing the research, it's not really research. It's this guy wants to see what critters show up when it brings a fish. And it's like, maybe there's stuff out there that don't want to fish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wants something else.
They want a conversation with an intelligent person.
Yeah, exactly. They just want love. Someone they can sip coffee with in the morning. That's all.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's not like there's fish down there that, it's not part of the food chain at the bottom of the ocean. Like most food never makes it down there. It gets eaten on the way down. So there's nothing left. So life at the bottom of the ocean is crazy and weird. But I think it's just really strange that it's basically a tourism thing. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be any part of the topic, but we know a couple of years ago when that really dumb tragic accident happened I can't even remember the submersible's name.
Yeah, I can't either.
The one that imploded looking for the Titanic.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of those guys was a scientist, and his last dive before that dive was to the Challenger Deep. So he was one of very few research scientists that ever actually went to Challenger Deep, which I found that interesting and quite tragic. But that's a whole different thing. But again, it's kind of reframes the perspective of the Titanic is something, it's pretty close again to like 3 kilometers deep or 4 kilometers deep, something like that. It's somewhat deep, but this is so much deeper. Right. And we saw what happened with that other submersible.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of like, that's what these guys were risking. That's what they were up against when they heard that bang, that crack.
Right.
And, it turns out there's like another like plexiglass window. I'm not exactly sure what's going on because it's not the sight glass that they were looking at. It was a plexiglass window that had just a huge crack in it. Oh, but it never leaked or anything. So I'm just like, I don't know, you guys. I think you got really lucky.
Yeah, that's all it was. I mean, either that or they're just really, really, really good at what they did, and their contingencies just happened to work that time.
Yeah, they did everything else right. I guess I don't know how far that goes, but I thought this was really interesting. Because that's the dive, and then whatever, they stay down there and they lift back up. It took them like 5 hours to get down. It took like 3 hours to get up.
Okay,
so there you go.
Yeah.
Took all day. Little day trip to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, you know how you do.
It's just sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just do it. This is so stupid. I didn't the video that I saw specifically on the Trieste. So there's a lot of Mariana Trench videos, but the one on the Trieste dive, I saw that it was presented by Rolex, and I was like, this is weird. And I watched it, and it was like a little documentary, and it was really great, and it was really fun. And then at the end of it, they're like, yeah, but guess what we did? They're like, as soon as we locked those guys in, we strapped a Rolex to the top of the submersible to see if it would still work when it got back to the top.
You have to prove that your submariner is good.
Exactly. And guess what? Rolex works at the bottom of the ocean. So they had this slogan that they proved that it works at the bottom of the ocean and on top of Mount Everest. So it'll work anywhere, right? So that for a long time was their slogan. They strapped a watch to the top of it, and it was fine. So I thought that was really,
that they're
kind of fun.
Their PR team, kudos to them.
Right, exactly. But way to jump on that. I don't even know how you figure that out. They're like, well, let's strap a watch to it. I love it.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh. But that's the dive. That's kind of the Challenger Deep.
Yep.
I have one kind of maybe bonus little topic.
All right, let's go.
That I find kind of crazy. Because we're talking Mariana Trench. I led you on with plate tectonic type stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to incorporate a little bit of another thing that we talked about in school, kind of at the same time, the Ring of Fire. Do you remember that one?
All I hear is the song.
The song.
Burn,
I know,
burn,
yeah.
burn.
It's a geological feature that's basically the boundary of the plates.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes like all the way up along South America, along the west coast of the United States, and then around to Russia, and then all the way down and around, right? So it's the area of really, really high volcanic activity. It's like 90% of the world's volcanic activity happens on this little boundary, this line.
Maybe, geez, I don't feel like I actually knew that. That's cool.
I'm learning you up. It's working. The podcast is working. So it's the Ring of Fire, and as a kid, it was a thing. I was like, oh, that's so cool, but like we never really got into it. Really.
Right?
It's like volcanoes are cool.
Yeah,
sure, that's awesome. Well, specific stories about volcanoes, I think, are kind of cooler.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to tell you, and I know you've heard this one because we reference SpongeBob all the time. Krakatoa.
Oh, I was like Bikini Bottom.
Bikini Bottom. No, that's a different thing.
Krakatoa.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe one of the first times you ever heard of that was from Squidward. So there you go. Krakatoa is an interesting little story. It's a volcano that exists, kind of still exists. It blew itself up pretty good, but it's so volcanic. It just rebuilds all the time.
Mm-hmm.
In 80, it's like, what did they say? In 80 years, it grew like 800 meters or something like that. It grows like 10 meters a year.
Whoa.
Or something. Did I do that math right? Yeah, drop a zero, right? It grows fast. It's crazy volcanic.
Wow.
So we're talking Indonesia. There's it's kind of right off the coast of the big island of Indonesia. And we're talking specifically the eruption in, I think it was, oh my good night. I didn't write it down. Scroll the other way. I think it was 1873.
So this is
1883. Oh, that's close.
Okay.
1883.
So after they
discovered the Mariana Trench.
Okay.
So there you go. It erupted in 1883. It's considered the loudest sound that's ever been created in human history.
Wow.
When it went off. It's a volcano eruption, so I think I'll just hit you with some crazy stats.
Yeah,
the numbers that came out of this thing. That's what it's famous for. Is it's one of the largest. I think it's the largest explosion in like modern history. There's ancient evidence that there are other volcanic, like super volcanoes, like Yellowstone, that were bigger, that erupted and were bigger events than this. But I mean, this was in 1883, so this is pretty modern,
right?
It erupted, and so here's kind of how it goes. It bubbles up, and it basically in this one day. We actually just missed it. I think it was August 28th or 9th was the anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of neat. It erupted like 4 times within like an hour, kind of. And the third one is the one where it really was a huge bang. And they said that, so it's off the coast. A couple things. Let's talk about the sound. In a town like 70 kilometers away or something like that, they measured the sound at 180 decibels, which is like putting your ear next to a jet engine.
Oh my gosh.
Or something like that. Yeah, it basically, like anyone within that range, their eardrums were ruptured. And if you were within something like, they back calculated the math, right? Because that's a long way away from the source.
Yeah, because 70 kilometers for you non-people is 43 miles.
How many depot skeletons?
I don't know.
Don't worry about it. Divide by 12. 12 feet. There you go. Somebody go do the math. They calculated if you were within like 16 kilometers or something like that, it would have caused permanent deafness. Like just instantly, boom, you're deaf.
Wow.
They calculated that at the source, it would have been like 310 decibels, which is crazy because decibels are on a logarithmic scale, right? So it's something like, I always have to remember how it works. It's like every 6 dB or something like that, you double how loud it is. So like 180 to 186 is twice as loud.
Oh,
And then 186 to 192 is twice as loud. I think I'm getting that kind of right. It's logarithmic.
okay.
So it's orders of magnitude as you get higher and higher. So the loudest the recorded was at 180, and so they back calculated and said it's like 310 decibels, which is insane. It's like loud enough to just kill you.
Mhm.
I don't even know. I don't know what it means.
Right.
It's too big of a number. It doesn't make sense. But we could talk some other things that it did. It threw. This is how it worked, because we know that this crazy stuff happens. You know, tsunamis are coming. So let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
So it ejected all of its mass basically straight up into the atmosphere, and it went like dozens of kilometers into the atmosphere, where it went up, it cooled, and as it cooled, it turns like pyrophoric or something they call it. So then it just turns into like a rock slide in the air, and then it falls. And so when it falls, that's what creates the tsunami. So when that happened, I think it was maximum tsunami heights. I don't know exactly how far away this is. This is again on the order of like 150 kilometers away. The tsunami reached maximum heights of almost 40 meters.
Oh my gosh.
That was the wave height. So that's one of the scariest things I could possibly think of.
Yeah. like
Terrifying. I mean,
ooh.
just pure destruction. 100 and what does that come out to? Something like 130-foot wave or something like that.
Mhm.
130-foot wave. That's just a skyscraper as wide as you can see on the horizon, just dumping over you. It's not good. So, yeah, that did not go well. Completely devastated the area, right? Super, super bad, tragic. But that's a number that clicks in my brain. That makes sense. 150-foot wave. That's nuts. In terms of energy, it was equivalent to a 200 megaton TNT, which, if you want to compare that back to something, Tsar Bomba is the largest nuclear bomb that's ever been set off, was 50 megatons. And the bombs on Hiroshima was like 20 to 25 megatons.
And this was what again?
200.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Hiroshima by the magnitude of
almost 10 times. Almost. Yeah. That's crazy. So it's like 10 nuclear bombs.
Oh, wow.
Which is wild. The pressure wave, so you could hear it. I see something that it was like you could hear it on the surface of the earth. You could hear it of like 20% of earth could hear it, which is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So there was like an island out near Africa somewhere that thought it was a cannon. They thought there was a boat off the coast that was shooting a cannon, and it was like 6,000 kilometers away or something crazy like that. Like just so far away.
That's insane.
There were, and just the way that the earth works and sound and atmosphere, whatever, there were pressure waves, not sound, but pressure waves recorded like all across the whole planet. 4 times it looped the atmosphere. It was so powerful. That wave just boom, 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 looped the earth. It ejected so much debris into the air that it cooled atmospheric temperatures by 0.5 degree Celsius for a year. And it created, like, if you look at paintings from 1884, that time frame, like, you know, the painting Scream, it's like the sky in that, it looks like that because of this volcano. So it made, like, in Europe, it made the sunsets crazy for a year, like red and orange and pink and all this crazy skies. It was because of this volcano. So when you're looking at paintings like that, it's volcanic sunsets.
You said we're talking 18. No, shoot. What was the year again?
1880s. 1883 was when it erupted. Which is just, it's neat, right? It's just weird. It affected everything.
I almost wish we had things in space for imaging.
Oh man,
at that time,
yeah.
Could you imagine the just what you would see from up there? Yeah. It would look pretty wild.
It would. You could, yeah.
It would look insane. I mean, I'm sure we could kind of replicate it, like model it to see what it would be like. But wow, that's insane. Like I know, like 1 degree Celsius doesn't seem like much, but for a whole year, like
it's enough to like change how farming works.
Exactly. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just the like average global atmospheric temperature.
Wow.
Which is just insane. So that's kind of it for Krakatoa. It's a volcano. It just went boom. And that's kind of all there is to it. But I think the some of the stats behind it are just incredible. And they what's left now in the volcano that grew in its place is called Son of Krakatoa. Is what it translates to. That's the one that grew. It first peaked out of the water in 1927, and now it's like 800 meters tall.
Wow. So
this area is it's rocking.
So is this active?
Oh yeah.
So we could
very much so.
We could see it again. I mean,
or any of the other. I mean, there was another volcano in like 2016 or 2018 or something that was about this devastating. It just wasn't like the loudness and like that kind of weirdness to it. The global temperature, it didn't do those things, but the tsunamis, yep, you got it. The devastation, yep. The energy was equivalent or more than this one. This is not, or maybe I'm lying, but close to, very close to. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even hear of that one. I don't even have it written down because it didn't click anything.
Right.
I was like, wow, I didn't even know.
Right.
But this area is very, very much active, and it always will be because of those plate tectonics. So it's just constantly feeding itself. And as long as there's the Pacific plate, it's always going to be creating volcanoes on the other side. As long as it's moving that way,
right? That's
what's going to happen.
And where does Pompeii sit on that?
On the devastation scale or whatever?
Well, both the devastation scale and, I mean, it's. I'm guessing, is it still part of the Ring of Fire?
No, it's not actually. That's in Italy, so it's on the other side of the planet,
right?
But that is, I don't exactly know why. It's probably more plate tectonics, weird stuff like that,
right?
Of why that one is volcanic activity. Most of it's on the Ring of Fire, 90%, but there are stuff in other places like
that one
Central
was also
America's volcanic,
right?
And yeah, Pompeii was devastating, kind of locally more than anything. It was a big one. There's like this weird index for like what did they call it? Something like the viciousness index or something dumb. But like we're trying to quantify the devastation or whatever, how much energy on, kind of lump that into a number,
right? Where
that is also orders of magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Pompeii was like a 4 or a 5, and this one, Krakatoa, was a 6.
Oh wow!
So it was like 10-ish times bigger than the Pompeii event.
Which is kind of, I mean, yes, I've heard of Krakatoa, but I think Pompeii is the more famous one.
Yeah, and it's probably a little bit because it's more Western. The history is easier. We know more about European and Western history than we do about Asian history.
Right.
So it doesn't make, it makes enough sense, I guess, just because that's the history that we're taught. That's kind of what we're familiar with. That's what we know about. But yeah.
But still, this brings so much like, oh, I want to know more about it, or at least read more about it, because that's insane.
I know, I wish they had a video of it, but of course they don't.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, the time, and how would you, I don't know. You can't just film all the volcanoes all the time.
Exactly. Which, I mean, but still, if you're close enough to film it, you're.
Yeah, and it reminds me of, and that's the other one to compare it to, is like Mount St. Helens.
Oh, yeah.
Was also like a 5 on that scale. People did get pictures of it, and some of them, it was the last thing they ever did.
Yeah.
Because of the proximity of it. Because that was a doozy.
Yeah.
That was a doozy. But it does kind of, another one that maybe we can relate to a little bit better, because we talk about that one in school. And,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, that one happened in our homeland, so we're familiar with it. But yeah, this one was 10 times worse than that, at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
It kind of just to, I guess, not put humor on it, because it's not a funny situation.
Yeah.
But it just kind of a little humorous on the SpongeBob side of it, where, because it Krakatoa basically exploded itself.
Yeah.
And when Squidward says Krakatoa and like to go attack, he injures himself.
Yeah, and everybody else, like he melts SpongeBob.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just like, oh my gosh, they're actually.
It's a little smart, right?
Yeah,
it's a smart joke.
So it's just like, oh, like you guys are actually you did some research.
Yeah.
So it's like, kudos on you, but making something a little lighthearted, but
Yeah. That's all I could think of was Squidward yelling,
Krakatoa.
Every time I read it or heard it. So anyway, that's the Mariana Trench, the deepest point on the planet. So that's the answer to how low can you go, is almost 36,000 feet. An ant.
Still down. I still technically
the dirt.
No, I still got it right. Low to the floor.
That low to the ocean floor.
Ocean floor.
Right. You're right. I just didn't wait for you to finish.
Exactly.
And now that you finished, we're there.
Boom.
We did it. You were right the whole time, Daniel. Good for you.
You're welcome, the people. No, shoot, the folks.
Well, I hope that was kind of fun. Little ocean, little volcano, little geography episode.
Mm-hmm.
I always like a good geography and a little bit of story.
Yeah,
apparently
definitely.
Ocean stories, man.
Oceans.
They're my jam. Because it's just a crazy place to be. They're fun.
Yeah. Is it still reign true that we know more about outer space than the ocean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've mapped like 90% of Mars's surface, but yeah, very, very little of the ocean floor. I mean, we've mapped it a little bit, but like to the exquisiteness, it's vastly different.
Crazy.
That's a little bit of a different story. I think my short answer to you, because we're running long on time, is you can thank the Russians in the Cold War. Because, and like this, follow the military and you will follow a lot of the technical advancements.
Yeah. Yep.
So you got a little political space race going on. We're not going to go dinking around in the ocean. We're going into space, right? We got to beat the Russians. So you can thank them for that and the Cold War for that. But yeah, a lot of promise. And I think aliens maybe are a little bit closer to us than we think, because the bottom of the ocean is a weird, spooky alien place. Yeah. Yep. Go Google deep sea gigantism. It's a thing. There you go. We didn't talk about it, but things get bigger the deeper you get. That's weird. So anyway, I hope y'all had fun with that. Go do something on the Patreon. Cool stuff over there. There's other things going on, probably. Just do your thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Go do whatever you want.
You
can do whatever you want.
There you go.
But as you're doing it, make sure you at least do your own research.
Yeah.
And stay curious.
Always.
Hey everybody, we just like to take a moment to thank everybody out there that has thus far supported us. We do all these recordings and we love doing it. We have fun doing it, but we are paying out of our own pocket, but it does help when people like Liz D, Seth T, Irvin H, DaDog, Mouse T, and Kirk K help us make this little podcast a reality and, lighten the load a little bit. So thank you from both of us and all of the fans. Thank you for helping us make this a reality. And if you guys want to help be part of the Doing Learning crew, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/Doing Learning. I don't know why I said www.